Mackey and Judd are talking Twins. Talking Twins. Now, with 1500ESPN.com senior web editor and resident seamhead Derek Wetmore, presented by the Canopy Group for the best insurance coverage at the absolute best price.
All right, let's get Wetmore in here from 1500ESPN.com, Touch 'em All podcast. And welcome to the show, by the way.
Hey.
Hi, Derek Wetmore.
Thanks for having me in.
Judd and I were going to kick this around, but we were going to do this earlier in the show, but our Johan segments we've just been arguing, I think mostly with straw men here, but we want Johan Santana to have had more consideration for the Hall of Fame, but now he's off the ballot, so that ship has sailed. Here's a question for you. Jake Cave just hits a grand slam over the weekend. Jake Cave now has an OPS of close to, what's my math here? Almost, 483 carry the 5, like an 800 OPS. He plays center field with reckless abandon. Byron Buxton hurt, minor leagues, no production. Has Jake Cave surpassed Byron Buxton as this team's center fielder on the depth chart 2019? What are your thoughts?
No, I don't think he has. And I think, Judd, how can you let him just do math on the fly like this on the air? We shouldn't stand for this.
I have no math skills whatsoever. I don't care what he does. I felt benilled.
All right, so look, Jake Cave is a nice player, and the Twins did well to add him to the organization. I think depth-wise, this actually helps them quite a bit. This to me is hedging for if Max Kepler doesn't develop to what you think he's going to be, or if Zach Granite's just gone and you never hear from him again, which seems like is the case now. So you need guys like Jake Cave, but Byron Buxton is in a different class. Like, yeah, there's a lot of variability to what Buxton could be this year, next year, 5 years from now, but you can't replace that type of talent with a guy who's had a nice little debut here for the Twins. Talent-wise, though, I don't think it's that close between Byron Buxton and Jake Cave. So for 2019, here's what I'm doing, guys. I'm making a leveraged bet on Miguel Sano and Byron Buxton, saying, great, if you guys are superstars, we've got the team around you to go. And if you're not, this is going to be a tough climb out of the where the Twins currently find themselves right now.
Can we get back to Buxton, please?
Well, sure, but I feel bad raining on Jake Cave's segment.
Well, no, I mean, Jake Cave's a great story. Good for him. It's fantastic. I know, I'm glad he's doing well. But our guy, Jake DePew, talked to Falvey, obviously, about a lot of subjects involving the Twins. And he posted a story in the past couple days at our site about the fact that Derek Falvey now says that the leg kick is going to stay at least for now with Buxton. So when he comes back now, he's got the leg kick back, which he had for a while. And then he and Rousen, if I recall correctly, last year got rid of it. And Buxton excelled from July 1st on. And then he struggled again. Anyway, long story short, when are they going to decide on a plan with this guy? As far as, I mean, at some point,
they have.
At some point in time,
it's a leg kick. It's highlighted
but
in
at
the
some
story.
point, but this is ridiculous now. You're still, I mean, we know for a fact that Byron Buxton spends too much time in his own head, right? So now we're going from the major league hitting coach got rid of the leg kick. Okay, that's all well and good, and you're hitting again, to you're not hitting again, so let's try this again. At some point in time here, we've got to settle on a plan for this guy at the plate, because this is ridiculous now.
I think that the leg kick is overplayed. I think we talk about it too much. I think big league hitters think about these things a little bit, but the number one thing that they're thinking is, where are my hands? Where is my head when the pitch is at the point where I have to make the decision? And that's all that matters to these guys.
It's a timing mechanism for him, the leg kick.
Yeah, and it's a power thing too. I think if he thinks he can get his hips through better and his hands are traveling faster, well, that's going to be more bat speed, that's going to be more power. Great. But if you swing and miss at 40% of the pitches, like the powers doesn't matter. You're not Joey Gallo. And so I think that's what the Twins are sort of in limbo on. Are you trying to develop this guy having some power? Or you just need him to make more contact at all costs? What's weird about Byron Buxton, Judd, and why this is maddening just on the surface level, but if you dig a layer deeper, it's even more maddening if you're the Twins.
Well, thanks for that.
Here you go. You're upset, and I think a lot of people are upset because of the inconsistency. Yeah, there have been some injuries, but like offensively, you can't say this is all because of injuries. Like there's been a very real step back that Byron Buxton has taken, and now we're all asking the question, forget is he a superstar? Is he a big leaguer? Is he a big league starter, everyday caliber center fielder? We're asking that question right now. You dig a layer deeper, and I personally think that it gets even worse because in the months that he's been excellent, that he's been that superstar, Gold Glove caliber defense, probably the fastest guy in the major leagues on a good day, hitting everything. He's also hitting for power. That's what's so frustrating about it. You remember 2 Septembers ago, power surge. I think he hit 9 homers if you include the inside the Parker. Last year, August and September, power. So then you come into this year, and not only has the power gone away, it's the contact has gone away. He's striking out all the time. He's finding himself in 1-2 counts. He's twisting himself in a pretzel, and it's just not there for Buxton.
Yeah.
To me, that is the most maddening part, that you don't necessarily have to decide contact or power, because when he's on, he's had both. How do you get him on? I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the other thing that I've heard, just sort of speculation and debate. Should they just shut him down? His wrist is a problem, and it's obviously a nagging injury that won't go away. They should just shut him down for the year and wipe the slate clean. I think that would be a huge mistake.
I agree.
You can't go from like June until April. You can't go 10 months and not see a major league breaking ball or a major league changeup. What I would do is, I don't know how long it's going to take to get the wrist to feel better. I would sit him for 4 weeks right now to get the wrist better, and then call him up as a September call-up. And if that means, because there's a service time, clock game that could be played here too, where he only needs 13 more days of service time this year in order to get to the next year.
No. You can't play that game.
I mostly agree. I mean, if it's borderline and the wrist is still ailing into September, okay, like maybe you consider shutting him down at that point, but he can't just end his season without seeing more major league pitching or AAA pitching for that matter.
You can't play that game, and the simple fact is, if you don't fix him, if you don't solve this Rubik's Cube, then service time is irrelevant.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're not wondering
Exactly.
what year he'll become a free agent and what year you get ARB control.
Yeah, but
you need to fix this first and foremost.
If you shut him down, and I don't know where you stand on this, Judd, but it sounds like you and I agree. You can't shut him down.
You can't shut him down. If the wrist doesn't get there, that's a different conversation.
What Smalley said is right. Both Sano and Buxton need to continue playing.
Yeah.
Like you're not taking time off.
So Smalley came on our show last week and he said, this is going to sound unorthodox, and obviously you'd have to get buy-in from the players. But Sano and Buxton need to face major league pitching or professional pitching this offseason, whether it's a winter league or some other structure where you're bringing in like a retired but recently retired major leaguer or whatever it is. Like, they can't go the whole offseason and not hone their swings and hone their approaches.
Yeah, and I don't know what that does for a guy's approach in terms of what does he bring in spring training, but it's got to be a consideration. I think everything has to be a consideration. Miguel's in a little different spot, I think. I don't know if you guys agree, this past week or so, the innings that I've caught, the games that I've seen, like, he looks like a real player again. He looks back to being at least close to Miguel.
He's lost weight, and so, but I think what you have to do is you have to have a plan where both of them continue to play for a while now, and you need buy-in from both of them. And with Buxton, I think he'd be fine, but you need buy-in that they are going to allow you to monitor them throughout the winter. Like, you can't have them disappear for long periods of time. Right. But I'm just saying, Roy's point was, this can't just be play a little bit and then we'll see a Twins Fest and then spring training. So you need buy-in from both these guys that this is a crucial winter for both of them for different. I mean, with Buxton, I don't have a fear that he's not going to work hard, but both of them need to be under your watch for extended periods of time, I think, in order to show up at spring training with the best chances to succeed.
And I don't know how that works with the union. Like, I do think you'd have to be cool with that. You'd have to have not just the players buy in, but multiple people. Miguel, I'm not so worried. I don't think he needs to see a pitch between November 1st and February 15th. And he can just, if he's like this, and let's say he keeps trending in the right direction, conditioning, defensively, base running. I feel like he's moving around better. Saw him run into the box hard on Friday, which we didn't see all of the first, however long he was up before they sent him out to Fort Myers. I'm not as worried about that because his pitch recognition skills, when he's on top of one of the best just behind Joe Mauer in terms of the Twins lineup. Byron Buxton's got the opposite problem. Byron Buxton, nobody's questioning the want to. There's nobody that works with Byron Buxton on a daily basis that says I'm not sure if he wants to be great. You'll never hear that. And I'm not saying there's just no comparison in terms of what the issue is. And so that's what's frustrating. If you're the Twins and trying to fix, quote unquote, Byron Buxton right now, it's a pitch recognition thing. It's a contact. It's, can you get your hands to the ball? And those are such very simple, elementary building blocks that you've just got to throw your hands up at sometimes being frustrated. I will say, in Buxton's defense, the injuries have played a huge part, not only in this year, but his career. We could play this game all day long, go back to the minor leagues, look at the extended period of development that he missed just because he was hurt. And so you start to ask, is injury prone? Is that a question? Is that a problem? Is that going to follow him? Well, I don't know. I don't know if you can label players injury prone or if it's just randomness and bad luck working against Byron Buxton. But what I do know is that in the time that most players like Buxton, raw, athletic, supreme, top of the chart skills, but not quite a full package yet, they get years and years and years to figure it out. And it always seems like it's something with Buxton.
Yeah.
I'm not out on him. I'm not done, but I don't know what the plan is this winter. I just don't think you can give up on 2018 because he's so important to your 2019 and beyond.
Something else of note, too, when you play that position, center field, and your game is predicated on speed, there's an expiration date on how long that remains your top, elite attribute. Torrey Hunter was the best center fielder in baseball, but by the time you get to be about 29, 30, 31, your straight line speed starts to go away and you move to right field in your early 30s. I mean, Buxton is no longer a 21, 22-year-old kid.
Sure.
So let's go into 2019, and now was he to be 25 in 2019? I think that's correct. And so he might only have 4 years left of peak center field performance left. But when you called him up initially, you thought, oh man, this is going to be like 9 consecutive Gold Gloves. It's just going to be a decade of Gold Gloves in center field. And that's not the way it works. You start to lose your straight line speed when you get to be 28, 29, 30, 31, and it deteriorates to where you have to move to the corner outfield spot. So even that, they've wasted some of the best years of his defense right now, too.
But they really have to.
Or he has wasted, not they have.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I don't think they're blameless in this.
Sure.
I think that you're talking about an elite defender and an elite runner. And gosh, if he could just get on base a little bit.
Well, that's what we keep saying.
Right. No, but there are two paths here. Even succeeding, there are two paths.
Yeah.
The one path that I think we're sort of shadow boxing around is that he's just a bust. If Byron Buxton forgot how to hit and make contact, you just can't play that. He's Billy Hamilton. That's fourth outfielder, maybe the ninth hitter on a bad lineup. That would be a really, really bad outcome for the Twins and obviously for Byron Buxton. There's a second path, let's call it just down the middle. That's a serviceable player. Hey, get on base just a little bit, Gold Glove defense, got the arm, you really change the game in that aspect. And then when you are on base, you create havoc. Nice. We'll take that. He's the 6th or 7th best player on your team, on a good team, and you're thinking, cool, supplementary piece. Well, then there's this other one that we've seen for stretches, and it's tantalized Twins fans for a number of years now, really since he was drafted in 2012, which was superstar, which is you hit 300, you get on base at 375, you hit for power, 500 or more slugging, you're hitting 25, 30 home runs in a year. Oh, and by the way, that's from a Gold Glove caliber, fastest man in baseball center fielder. That's a huge range of outcomes. I was talking with somebody last 2-3 weeks ago, maybe. Said, well, it's kind of this conversation started with Byron Buxton and we got to talking about the NBA. And they said, yeah, but there's still, the possibility still exists that this is the Steph Curry, Ricky Rubio, Johnny Flynn draft. And the guy said, right, but right now he looks like Johnny Flynn. I said, yes, but the question is Steph Curry still in there? The guy throws his hands up and he says, at this point, I'll take Ricky Rubio.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to is he going to be serviceable? Is he going to be great? Or are we going to say, oh, remember what could have been? One day, are we going to be saying that with Byron Buxton? I don't know, but that's the very real concern, I think, if you're the Twins right now.
Yeah, and it's also frustrating. Probably not going to get many answers in the calendar year of 2018, regardless of what happens. If he shreds in September again, you're still going to wonder.
And hopefully for them, he's healthy soon. They're able to just call him up pretty quickly and get him some big league at bats. Because really, guys, the rest of this season, you've got to start working your way towards these answers. You can't just say,
absolutely,
I don't know.
You do.
We'll see in February.
No. Yep. Wetmore hanging out with us. We're talking Twins. Find his stuff on 1500ESPN.com. All right, we were just talking during the commercial break here. Obviously, the Twins with 2 months to go, it's not a death march in the sense that some of these other seasons have been to 100 losses. They're still going to put up a fight. They just swept a bad team, but Who are the main auditioners here that you're interested in, Derek Wetmore?
That's the perfect term because that's what the final 2 months are. It's, okay, ship has sailed on the postseason, and you kind of want to figure out, are your good players going to continue to answer is Eddie Rosario going to continue to be an all-star caliber player when the games aren't perceived to matter as much? That I want to know that. But throwing that aside and just saying, okay, we think we know what Rosario is. We think we know what Joe Mauer is at this point in his career. Pretty much everybody has to be watched. Pretty much everybody is putting their resume on display every night right now. I mean, Logan Morrison's got an option, which I don't know that you pick up right now, but hot hitting.
I'm good on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying
good on that option.
It's been fun, Lomo.
That dude's going to wind up with 25 home runs, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like a little hot hitting, maybe his.
That bomb he hit over the weekend still hasn't landed, and it is fun when he's in that mode. It is kind of fun to watch. But thanks for showing up when the season mattered most.
I know.
And if you pad your stats going into what's likely to be free agency again for him, then
hey, sometimes volume scoring's important, boys. So that's just one example. Look, that's not the first person I'm watching. I'm just kind of looking around the diamond and you do want to know, is Mauer coming back? I'm also looking, does Mauer catch Killebrew in terms of times on base?
Sid talked to Jim Pohlad last week and got what I think is the God's truth.
Okay, let's hear it.
Joe Mauer is coming back if he wants to.
What did Jim say?
Jim said that it's up to the Mauer family and they will make a decision. It's going to be up to Joe Mauer.
Can I say something about media covering sports just quickly? I mean,
of course.
Yeah, okay. So you'll correct me if I'm wrong here, Judd. Sid will just barge into somebody's office, and I think every once in a while they say something that they either don't mean or might not be truthful. They just need to give Sid an answer so that he'll go away. I mean, I don't know what that meeting was like, but I was sitting by Sid when he got back from Pohlad.
I'm going to disagree.
He feverishly calls the desk and says, Wednesday for Thursday, I've got something for you. This is going to be good.
I'm going to disagree with you on this. Jim Pohlad's quotes, while bland as can be, usually there's not deception there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying
so. I trust that this is the one player who's going to get to make up his mind what he's going to do.
You remember 4 years ago when Terry Ryan told Sid that Gardy was back?
Oh yeah, no, GMs lie. I'm just saying Jim Pohlad, I think, has a history of if you get him, he's going to tell you what he thinks at that time.
Okay.
And I do think that the one guy that he's going to say it's up to him is Joe.
What's up with the owners in this town not just letting the general managers they hire make the decisions?
I was going to say, did Sid ask Jim about Joe Mauer's expected weighted on base average?
I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys.
I mean, okay,
so
as much as we mostly in this room disagree on Tom Thibodeau's style and philosophies, if you're Glenn Taylor and you hired Tom Thibodeau to be your president of basketball ops, you don't then overrule him on Andrew Wiggins.
That's right.
You just if you're Jim Pohlad and you hire Derek Falvey and Thad Levine, I'm okay with Mauer coming back next year, but that shouldn't be Jim Pohlad should delegate that decision to Falvey and Levine.
He also shouldn't choose in the first week of August, what's going to happen. And also, even buried in that quote, we don't know, this just opened up a whole can of worms. We don't know if Mauer wants to come back for sure. So
that's correct.
To be determined. I'm watching Joe Mauer in what could be the final 2 months of his Twins career. We don't know. I want to see who's going to play second base next year, but I don't know that person's on the 25-man roster right now. I want to see if Jorge Polanco is the shortstop that we thought he was the final 2 months last year. I want to see Miguel Sano. Can he hold on to what he's done in this past week here at third base? Is he a third baseman? I want to see Mitch Garver. Can he actually play behind the plate? And then there's just a whole laundry list on the pitching staff that I'm curious to see.
Real quick, 60 seconds left in the segment. If you're Joe Mauer and there's 2 months to go in this season, less than 2 months, and some team, be it the Yankees or whoever else, got in contact with the Twins here before the waiver deadline and said, you know what, we'll take him, and we'll give you a player to be named later, but we'll take him and we'll eat some of the money to give you a little. Maybe we'll eat some of the money and we'll give you a C-level prospect for him. Mm-hmm. But it's Joe's chance to go play for a World Series on a playoff team. Let's call it the Yankees. I don't think he would do it, and it sounds like he, just behind the scenes, it sounds like he doesn't have a lot of interest in leaving the Twins, even for a 2-month rental. I would do it. Would you leave? If the Yankees said, I know you're a Minnesota guy and your family's in Minnesota and you love the Twins. You went to Cretin-Derham Hall.
Wife's pregnant.
You wouldn't go to New York for 2 months and chase a ring.
Yep. And I'd still say, Catch you.
Yeah, they have
Catch you
great
after the World
facilities
Series.
in
I know what
Manhattan.
Judd would say.
Catch you after the World Series.
I know what Phil would say. I don't think I would leave.
Why?
I don't think I would leave. Like what?
To go win a World Series, to play meaningful baseball in the
To go have a
postseason.
12.5% chance to win a World Series as
Better
a
than
backup
zero.
first baseman.
Really?
As a backup first
You've been
baseman.
thinking
somewhere
like
else.
that.
I'm saying if I'm Joe Mauer right now, I'm pretty sure
Okay,
he's
what
cool.
if they assured you that you could come back? It's going to be up to you. You're going to go. We're going to trade you. We're not going to get much back. Go pursue a championship.
Give him the Eduardo Escobar
and
deal.
We plan. If you want to come back here, there's a place for you. So we're not eliminating your potential for playing.
Yeah,
again.
then I might do it. I might be
It's
interested.
gotta be- I don't know. I don't think you will, but it's a no-brainer.
Look, to me, it's just you got to figure out, is a guy motivated by a World Series and stuff like that? Or is his legacy just one of the greatest Twins of all time and did it all in one uniform? I think there's
He's
something for
definitely
that too.
motivated by a World Series, but I think it's World Series with the Twins or bust, basically.
I got bad news for you then.
Yeah. Go find Wetmore stuff on 1500ESPN.com. Touch 'em all podcast feed. Thanks for coming in, Derek.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the show. TCL launched a new lineup of award-winning 4K Roku TVs to deliver the best sports, movies, TV shows, and thousands of streaming channels. TCL's personalized home screen makes it easy to customize your TCL to fit the way you watch. Binge watch what you want, when you want. TCL delivers excellent picture quality, sleek design, and stunning resolution at an affordable price. TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand, is available at major retailers everywhere. Learn more at TCLUSA.com.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. The FBI investigation of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh may wrap up today, we're told. But Christine Blasey Ford, who accuses him of sexual assault, apparently has not been interviewed, nor has he. Does that worry key Republican Senator Jeff Flake?
Well, we have the statement of Dr. Ford, and then we have hours of testimony. So, frankly, when we talked about an FBI investigation, it was to follow up leads that might corroborate her account. So, I'm not troubled by that.
Standing next to Senator Flake on Capitol Hill, his friend, Democratic Senator Chris Coons, for whom the speed of the investigation raises questions.
That would concern me. I hope the FBI has been allowed to follow all the reasonable leads from the credible allegations that were before the committee last week. And I know that puts them under a lot of pressure, but they've got the resources to do it.
He and Senator Flake were on the Today Show this morning. I'm Rita Foley.